Hello, welcome back to Papo Fluente podcast. One more conversation in English for you guys. I promised I would drop one episode every week, and here I am again. And as usual, I'm not alone, guys. I have a very special guest with me today, Thiago Messiah. How are you, my man?
What's up? I'm doing just
Good.
fine, man. Thanks for having me on.
Nice.
We started connecting just a few days ago,
Yeah.
and thanks for inviting. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, the pleasure is all mine. So, yes, so we connected through Threads. If you guys don't know this app yet, so go check it out. We are both there, like posting things. So if you want to check Papo Fluente on Threads, you can also check at Thiago Messiah over there.
Yeah,
Thiago with the TH and
yes,
Messiah with the H at the end, right?
and yes.
Yeah. So, but I will put all his social media information down below in the description of the episode. So if you guys want to check his work, you won't be disappointed. Great content out there. So please go to the description and check it out. All
Kind of
right.
you, man.
Good. So I usually start like first things first, right? So a little introduction. So, who are you? Where are you from? What's the story? Why you're here? So, go ahead, introduce yourself to the audience,
How much time do we got? Do we have, man?
bro.
Us teacher, we love talking. We love sharing experience, giving
Just
examples. We're all
yeah,
about that. So
yeah. Go
sit
for it.
back, grab a beer or something, and let's do it.
All right, just go
I'm
for it.
kidding, man. But anyway, again, thanks again. I wish you the best for the on your podcast. Let's keep going, man. It's nice. It's a nice content actually. So congratulations, kudos,
Thank you.
much respect. So my name is Thiago. I'm living in a city called Araguari. It's in the central part of Minas Gerais state here in
Okay.
Brazil. I know you're not here in Brazil, right? But
No.
uh, it's a there is a people there's Triângulo Mineiro. People call Triângulo Mineiro, which is
Okay.
this part where I am. A famous city is Uberlândia. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the capital. Capital is Belo Horizonte. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have Uberlândia, which is a reference.
Mm-hmm.
Uberaba, and then we have I'm here Araguari. It's a smaller city among the bigger ones here, and
Okay.
I'm here, right? I'm not originally from here. I'm from another city called Itumbiara, Goiás, which is a neighbor state. So,
Okay.
but I've grown up. I grew up in Itumbiara and in here because most of my relatives they are here. So while I was growing up in Goiás, my parents would come here and visit family all the time. So I was when I moved here, I was kind of used to the place here. But yeah, that's it. So basically, this is my growing up story. And being
Nice.
a teacher, I've been teaching for it's been 17 years. I started,
Wow.
yeah, early 2007. And I was not like I didn't want to do this because believe it or not, I was super shy, extremely
Okay.
shy. I started doing this university course called information system.
Uh-huh.
So in my mind, I wanted to work with English, but I thought it would be like behind a computer, behind a screen. I work now behind a screen, but it's a different approach, right?
Yeah.
But I was, I thought I would be programming things and using English because I've always liked and studied English. So I thought I would be doing that, but behind a screen, not talking to anybody. I was
Mm-hmm.
super shy. But then I got this opportunity for an internship here in Araguari through the university, right? I was, going to this place. It's kind of a bank, so I would go there uh, through the university through this course information system. So I would just go on and start a day, turn on all their computers.
Okay.
It was super fun. And
All
then they
right.
would give me things to do, like help fill out forms and call clients and all those things. Uh, so I did that for a year and a half. While I was doing it, I was towards the end of my English course. I had started studying English before, but then like just 3 4 years after I got the opportunity to like sign up for an English class,
Mm-hmm.
like a proper one. So at that time, um, at the end of 2006, I was about to finish this internship, and then I was full on studying English. I was obsessed because there was no Google, there was no YouTube for me. It was
Yeah.
just a very thick ass dictionary, and
Yeah.
like friends would help me out and print out music lyrics, and I would just study that all day. And of course, my material that I was studying in school. So I thank a lot of my friends to help me out at that time, and my father who hooked me up with this big ass dictionary that
Yeah.
helped me a lot. That was pre-internet, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then when I finished my internship uh, finished, I was like, what should I do now? Um, I was like, I don't want to find a like a I don't want to go on and work for a bank anymore. I don't want to. I don't feel like working with information system anymore with computer. I wanted to use my English. And then at this time, the people from the school invited me to become a teacher. I go training to be a teacher and all that, like a monitor or something, a tutor. And I'm like, man, I'm super shy. Should I do this or not? I might do it because I want to, work with English, so I might as well try it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to, overcome this problem that I had. I was super shy, man. Uh, and
And
then I
that was
tried it.
just a
I gave it
question.
a
That
shot,
was that
and
was the
then I was like, "Let's do it." Yeah,
uh that was the school you studied at? Like the school you started teaching?
it was the school I was finishing. I was a like sixth semester before ending my course. I was doing this regular course just for a diploma. Back then, people would kill for a diploma, right? I don't know nowadays. People are all about just learning. But back then, 2007, people would kill for a diploma. This was pre-internet, so all we needed is like diploma. But I learned a lot. I'm very proud of what I did there. But like again, I should be proud of myself too because I was studying all by myself, alone. I was doing all these things also with some little help from a friend, some from friends, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing that. So I got this opportunity. I remember my first class that I taught. It was horrible. It was terrible. I was very shy and I was scared, man. I was really scared. And then like a month later, I was like, yeah, that's the stuff. That's
Yeah.
what that's what I want to do. Yeah, for at least some time. And then I fell in love with the profession. And of course, it was the first English school that I was teaching for some time. I stayed in this school. I was teaching there, and then I moved to this other city, this bigger city, Uberlândia, to develop more because here it's a smaller city, and back then it was even like smaller, and I just wanted more. I wanted to learn, and then in this other city, I tried out for other schools or other methods, which I failed miserably because I knew nothing about other kinds of methodology. It was
Mm-hmm.
really fun. Um, but I was like, look, I'm here, I want to learn. So I started like learning and studying to be an English teacher, a second language, English as a second language teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I've been doing since then, right? And of course, I had other experiences with other schools and other methodologies, and a lot of friends helped me out. And then 2010, 11, YouTube showed up. And then it was another tool that helped me a lot, develop, especially listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time I had some contacts and I had experiences with native speakers, but after YouTube and podcasts, um, it all changed. The game changed about using these tools to develop our listening, which I have been taking advantage since then, right? And
Yeah.
learning for myself, and also like helping my students, guiding my students, showing some interesting things that they can learn from, right?
Hmm.
And this is what I've been doing. 2007 was when I started developing and learning. I taught in an English school for a long time, and aside from that, uh, like 4 years after I started teaching privately as well. So I was just juggling all these two worlds, right?
Hmm.
Learning, teaching. I've never been abroad, and I was just going. I was just teaching it and learning at the same time, which I'm still doing until today, right? And then for the past a year ago, I closed down a bar that I had here in my city, right? I had a bar for 3 years, as
Hmm.
well as my private classes. So I was juggling that. It was a special beer bar here,
Hmm.
which I had so much fun being involved with that. Um, so I closed it last a year ago, and then I just came back being 100% teaching, right? So while I had the bar, I never stopped teaching. I just had reduced a few hours here and
Hmm.
there, and continued my things, right? But I've been teaching privately for some time now. I'm only this now. I see that, and I say that I've been doing what I kind of dreamt about, which is like working for myself on my own, on my terms, not answering to nobody.
Hmm.
And I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm just doing my thing. Sometimes, no, ups and downs. Of course, sometimes we lose students, we get students, we retain students. It's a game, right? It's a
Yeah.
game where we gotta put on your war face and go, right?
Yeah, it's the teacher's life, right? It's a roller coaster, but it's at the end of the day, I think those are opportunities for us to develop our skills, right? Because you're not only teaching, you're managing a business, you are
Yeah.
organizing schedules, you're like creating stuff because you're also on social media. We're gonna talk about that, and but that was a great introduction, man, and like, and I'm just amazed for like how experienced you are, so how many things you've done. But I have a game that I usually play with my guests, and
Awesome.
I want to know if you are up to that. So I'm gonna explain. It's optional. You can either say, "All right, Alan, let's do it," or you can either say, "No, man, that's not a good game." But it works like this. I call it BS or success. So yeah, BS for bullshit. For the
Awesome.
ones who don't know what BS stand for, it's bullshit. So it's like something that is not. It's kind of nonsense. Or
Yeah.
success, that's something that is good. So I'm gonna give you some information, and you're gonna have to deal with this information. How? You're gonna tell me, oh, this is a
It's,
BS or this is a success, and you
all
can
right.
tell me why. All right. Do you want to play the game?
I'm game, man. Let's go. Is
All
there
right.
any like intermediate answer, or no? It's
I
like
mean,
it's yes or success.
no, it's funny because the other day I was talking to another teacher and he said, "Man, it's both. Like partially
All right.
BS and partially success." And
Beautiful.
he had a good rationale about it, and
Okay.
that's the idea here, you know. I
I'm on it.
just want to learn opinions and everything. So I'm
Beautiful.
going to start from a topic that you just brought up, because I always ask the people who join the podcast where they're from, because we're mostly Brazilian, talking to Brazilians,
Yeah.
and it's really important for the audience to know that we're Brazilian people speaking English, right? So
Yeah.
we are proud of our accents.
Yeah.
We make mistakes, and that's all good.
Of course.
But we are here to encourage you guys, to motivate you guys. And you
Excellent.
mentioned that you have never been abroad.
Yeah.
And one thing that I sometimes come across on social media is that people selling this idea of you have to be abroad if you want to become fluent or fully experience the language. So do you think English learners, they must be abroad to be fluent? BS or success?
BS, man.
All right.
It's it's right on BS. For me, it's BS, right?
And why?
Um, you know, of course, I've been teaching. I've been involved with English like 24/7, and it's more than natural that I would just say something, speak something in English. All right,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my it's my experience. I've never been abroad. But anyway, in terms of students, I don't think that it's mandatory or it's necessary to be abroad or go abroad or spend some time abroad, to become fluent, to,
Mm-hmm.
to speak, to communicate, right? I have seen so many people becoming fluent, and I have seen and I've helped so many people to achieve uh, this level of fluency without even like stepping foot on in Paraguay, let's say like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if you get, I'm gonna summarize because we can talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
But like if you get a teacher that is decided to help you get to the next level using so many methods or tools, you can do that by staying here, man. Nowadays it's even easier than like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because of all the tools we have now. We have
Yeah.
so many things, man. We have so many free stuff online, and teachers like us, we have so much to offer, right?
Yeah.
We have so many things, so many experiences to bring to our students and make them speak like I'm like the way I am, or
Mm-hmm.
at least help, right? So I was talking to a student of mine recently, and she was like, I mean, I started teaching her recently, but she already has a background. She has studied before, but we are doing this one class per week, and then sometimes she doesn't find the time to study by herself and do the things that I propose her to do between classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And students feel frustrated. We all do, right? When we don't find and when we don't prioritize the things that we have to. And then she turned to me recently and said, "Look, Thiago, I'm thinking about like spending 3 months wherever to see if I can develop my English, to see if I can, if the key turns or something." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Dude, do you want to listen what I have to say?" And I'm like, "Look, if you don't like study 10 minutes per day, you're not going to go anywhere. You can go stay 3 months there, spend the whole day listening to English. This is one thing. Another thing is if you were there, if you're ashamed to open your mouth and speak and lose your fear to make mistakes, you're not going to go anywhere. So
Yeah.
if you do what I'm telling you to do every fucking day, you don't need to go there, man. You're
Yeah.
gonna maybe spend a little less than if you go, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's all about the Brazilian mentality. Brazilian mentality is something else, man. We are something else.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Brazilian culture is something else. We
Yeah.
are so good, we are so good at lying. We're so good at creating memes. We are so good at so many bad shit, but we are fucking shy, and we are afraid, and I think this is intrinsic. We are afraid of making mistakes,
Yeah.
right? And this is 99% of what I see, of
Yeah.
students that I see, right? I've
Yeah.
been teaching this guy for 4 years now, 3 years, and we just talk, 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 but we started from scratch. And man, this guy works for a very big company, international, multinational. This guy thanks me every week because this guy
Wow.
goes to fucking Dubai and China and whatever. He goes to the US, Canada, and he closes deals. He makes business with a lot of people in English, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Good. All right.
Sorry,
So
I like to talk.
it's all good, man. It's all good. That's the idea. We are here to listen. We are here to
Yeah.
bring like good information and keep doing.
Yeah.
Uh, you brought this briefly when we were answering my previous question, but consuming content in English every single day, even if it's for a short amount of time. As you said, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That will improve your communication skills overall. Is that a BS or success?
I kind of changed my mind recently again about this
Okay.
specific topic. It's so nice. Man, by the way, good question. Very good question. I
Okay.
should talk about this with my students. Um, I think it's nowadays it has become more BS for me.
Okay.
But I will explain because it's not only BS. The reason why I say it is not completely BS is because if someone wants to learn English, I think it's really important to get someone to guide you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've been doing that, I've been doing that. So get a teacher, get a tutor, get someone to guide you through your development.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this because nowadays so many good informations and so many BS information, so many good shit, and it's so many things, man, so many things to consume.
Mm-hmm.
So people can get very lost. I started to kind of relax a little bit and stop consuming shit as well because it kind of messes up with your mind,
Yeah.
especially that we are creating content. Sometimes you see someone with 4 million followers doing something that you have been doing for so long and maybe that you have been doing a little better, and that guy just has a fucking stars on Instagram, and that
Yeah.
guy is the reference, right?
Yeah.
And then
He
this is
becomes
me,
the
right?
he becomes the god of English.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I respect, man, don't get me wrong, I completely respect everybody online doing their
Yeah, yeah.
things. It's nice. But the problem is that nowadays, for people creating content, they are working with the algorithm, and are paying the price. They are paying to become viral, and then they get views, right? And then that being said, there are a lot of information out there, and for students like beginners or intermediates, they kind of they're lost still, right? So that's why I say it's BS, because there's a lot of things and they will get lost, and also most importantly because people don't pay attention to shit online anymore. They want just something fast, or they want to see only funny shit, funny
Mm-hmm.
things,
Yeah.
memes and stuff like that. They don't pay
Yeah.
attention to serious things anymore. And when I say it's not completely BS, if once they get a teacher or a guide, a tutor, this teacher is supposed to say, "Look, just follow this, this, and this. You're gonna consume this, this, and this, and that's it. Let's keep up." Feedback, back and forth, and then okay, now you do this, this, and this. It's guiding you,
Yeah.
using share online, which has you can find everything, man, online,
Mm-hmm.
which is good, you know.
Yeah. Great.
Right? What do you think?
I agree, man. Like it all depends if you have a filter and if you have a proper like judgment of things you are consuming, right? Like for me, podcasts they were huge. Like in my learning journey, like I would listen to 4 hours of podcasts in English every single day. But I
Me too,
would
man.
pick, like Harvard Business School. They have a great podcast. I would
Me
pick
too.
like BBC Learning English. They also
Nice.
have a great podcast.
Yeah.
I would get like there's
Man,
one that
when I started listening to podcasts, there was one that became paid, of course, and for a long
mm,
time I kind of lost that. But I listened to that podcast for years, man. It's called the
okay.
ESLPOD.com, which is the site, the website. It's ESL
Mm-hmm.
podcast,
Yeah.
and man, they were kind of the pioneers of this
Mm-hmm.
podcast,
Yeah.
using podcasts to teach. Right? They
Mm-hmm.
have a YouTube channel, but it's so good. The content that they offer is so good,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of got lost because after all these famous shit appeared, these good ones, they kind of are in the the underground, right? But
Yeah.
it's an amazing things which I back then I bought so many content from them, which I based a lot of my classes in on their content, and I still use some of the contents, not some of the contents, but a lot of the contents that I bought
Hmm.
at that time. Still have.
Yeah.
A podcast is amazing, man.
Hmm.
Man, I listen to a lot of not nowadays anymore, but I listen to a lot of uh, Joe Rogan podcasts.
Oh yeah, he's a good
People
one.
talking about like science, about MMA, about like
Hmm.
war and shit,
Yeah.
politics. It's amazing. Yeah,
It is. It is good, and that's why I decided to have my own. Like just to
amazing.
try to put some good things out there, and let's see how it goes. So far,
That's
it's
amazing,
it's
man.
doing good. All
How
right, you
long
re-
have you been doing this?
It's so I first started in 2018, but
Mm.
I stopped for almost 3 years because
Whoa.
yeah, just before moving to Canada. And then
Hmm.
when I moved to Canada, I started college here. So it took me like 2 years to finish my program. And I was like a full time student and also working part time. So it was
Hmm.
really hard to keep this up, right? But
Yeah.
once I finished my program at college, so I decided to is like slowly coming back to social
Hmm.
media and everything. And this is what I'm passionate about, like
Nice.
listening to stories, having the chance to learn from good people like you, and sharing this to people who might benefit from it. So that's why I decided to come back. So this is my episode number 15, I think. You were the number
Nice.
15 since I come back.
Nice.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
recently came back. I was back in June, I think.
That's
And
amazing, man.
yeah,
Man, you just keep doing that. Like I'm with you. You know, I agree with you, and I share the same passion. And I
good.
commend you to keep doing that because it's amazing, man. I had a podcast with a friend. It's called the Best Life Podcast. We did that before. We had some episodes in English, and we had English and Portuguese, and we would
Okay.
go on and talk about several things. And we had episodes in English as well. And then we kind of stopped that. We had some other things. I have a daughter, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then recently we came back with our podcast with another name. And
Mm-hmm.
mostly we are only now talking about music. We started speaking only in English. We have a few episodes in English,
Mm-hmm.
but then we were like, guys, just speak in Portuguese because we can reach more people
Yeah.
and ask people to interact with us and talk about music with us. And we
Mm-hmm.
kind of like forgot, not forgot, we kind of gave up on speaking English. But it's amazing content, man, to bring shit in English.
And your podcast, the one you guys started, is the Good Life podcast?
Now it was called the Best Life
The
Podcast.
Best Life podcast. Is
Yeah,
this still available out there?
this is still available on
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah,
Okay, go
and
check it out,
now
guys. I'm gonna
yeah,
check it out for sure. The Best Life podcast. Good.
but and that we stopped that, right, like I
Okay.
said. But now what we have been doing and what we have been focusing on, it's called Na Vibe do Disco.
Na
This is
Vibe do
our
Disco
yeah,
podcast. Okay.
yeah, and it's all about music, you know. And I'm gonna invite you to participate with us one of these days.
For sure, man,
Hang
for
tight,
sure.
hang
And
tight.
send me the links if you can, so I can put
For
on the
sure.
description
Definitely, yeah.
so people can access that. The Best
Yeah,
Life
of
podcast and a
course.
Vibe do Disco podcast. Good.
Yeah.
All right. I still have a couple of questions.
Let's go.
So, if you were an English learner, translation is bad for you. So you need to forget Portuguese because you're learning a new language. So translation is bad for you. Is that a BS or success?
It's a very good question. For me, it's completely BS, I think.
Yeah.
My opinion. It's
Yeah, I
BS.
agree.
I respect people who say otherwise, but it's BS, man. Look, we are Brazilian, we are Portuguese speaking people,
Yeah.
and we're adults. We are paying money to learn.
Hmm.
So let's hurry that bitch up.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why, of course. So use your mother tongue to connect with other words. Of course, there are some methodologies and there are some drills so we can apply that. But I'm all for it, man. But at until some point, of course, there's a limit. There's a point where I would go on and just start using only English with my students, and then I wouldn't mind, and I will always use Portuguese if I'm trying to explain a word to a student. I will say, look, that means this. I will tell you the Portuguese, and I would encourage them to also go find the translation, man.
Mm-hmm.
There are tools. These are tools, and I'm all for it. Just use
Mm-hmm.
it, yeah. Um, but that goes with different students as well, right? If I see that a student is developing, I want to force the student. I'm going to say, look, let's try to forget Portuguese now and just focus on the, English. Let's do it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
try it. But if you find yourself at a point where you're not getting the word, man, just fucking translate the word and go on.
Yeah.
Right? Let's do it.
We don't need to suffer, right? We don't need to get stuck and
No,
like
man, go. Don't get
mimic,
frustrated, right?
mimic, draw, whatever, man. Come on, let's just use some association here. It's just
Jesus
like,
Christ, yeah, man.
yeah.
I was a teacher in a school where they would say, "Look, no Portuguese,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
never
I've been
Portuguese."
there. I've
You've
been
been
there.
there
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, man, I would just all the time. Sometimes especially the beginners, I wouldn't follow rules. I wouldn't.
No.
I would say, look, and I wouldn't even say, look, the method says I can't use the fucking Portuguese, but I don't fucking care. Let me help you.
Yeah,
And people would fall in love with me and fall in love with my classes.
yeah.
I was just being honest with myself and with the students.
Exactly.
Like one important thing, man, to be a teacher, I think it goes for every kind of teacher, Portuguese, math, whatever. Man, follow your instincts to teach.
Yeah,
Follow your way, right? If you feel like doing something, of course you're not gonna like get undressed and
yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah,
But man, follow your guts about teaching because you're gonna feel what's happening with each one of your students.
mm-hmm.
So you use whatever is best for you and whatever you think it's best for your student. It's your responsibility, right?
Yeah.
So just do it.
Exactly. Good. So we've been talking about how people are playing the social media game out there. So I've seen some stuff like if you follow this method, if you follow those simple steps, you can become fluent in 3 months. Is that a BS or success?
Man, 3 months is fucking BS.
All
Six
right.
months is BS, I think. I agree that people can learn things and speak, communicate a little bit within 3 months, 6 months. It's all right.
Yeah.
But when they sell, and I've seen this, oh, 6 months, 3 months, you're going to be fluent. I don't believe that. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Um, especially that most of these courses that they sell, they are pre-recorded classes that they're gonna sell to you, and you're gonna be left alone, and you just do it, right? I don't believe that. I don't think that's possible,
Yeah.
right? Until they prove me wrong, I would like you know, to do this experiment with someone and
Yeah.
see it, right?
So I need your advice now because I've been debating or contemplating the idea of bringing some of those people to the podcast and have like
Oh.
conversations. But especially now because the podcast is not popular yet, right? So not many people know about this idea of project. Of course, I'm all against this approach, like be fluent in 3 months or whatever. But I think that would be funny to have those people in here. While, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What would you do?
Bring them on, man. Bring them on.
Yeah,
But you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say that's possible and all that. Um, but I want to see it. I just want to see it. But it's hard. It's hard. How are we gonna prove this?
yeah,
I'm not gonna follow the students every day, and we're not gonna see what they're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, what I would like to see is like you making the right questions and see how they're gonna react to that. Because when these people that when they get to a level where it becomes viral and they start getting a lot of money and then they get money, they pay the content to become more and more viral. That's why they get like thousands and thousands of followers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're selling a good shit online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most of them. I know the ones who are doing a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't promise like 6 months.
No.
I don't think that's good. I don't
I
know.
I have an opinion that if you are out there and you promise fluence, you already lost. Like from the
Yeah,
perspective, like you're not being ethical. Just because we all know that fluency, it's not in my hands. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I can do my best. I can show the way. I can, like as you said, do some drills or like like work closely to the student. But
Yeah.
it's something 100% up to them, right?
Hmm.
So I cannot promise that. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
It's
You can
impossible, man.
you can promise that you are a good teacher. You can promise that you have a good method. You can promise that you will dedicate yourself to help someone to become fluent. But once you said no, come with me and you'll be fluent, 100% guarantee. I
That's
think,
bullshit.
yeah,
That's
that's what
bullshit.
I,
I completely agree with you.
yeah,
Completely.
yeah,
I've always, this is me, right? I've always hated the expression, oh, this is the best drink You're gonna
hmm
get. Oh,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
the best food of
yeah,
your life. Oh, this is the best method possible.
yeah,
It all depends, right? It
yeah,
all depends. We
yeah,
know and we've seen in Brazil that extremes are gonna kill each other, and
yeah,
it doesn't work, right?
mm-mm,
So we need something specifically for each one, and you know, English teacher, English methodology is there are a lot
hmm
of them there, and it's up to you as a student to find the best one. And I completely agree with you. We as a teacher, we have to like be confident and say, look, I guarantee you my best, and if you do that, you're gonna get somewhere, or you're gonna do this and this, but like don't promise things.
hmm
And of course, people come to you with the same question that they come to me with the same question for 17 years. Look, how long am I going to be speaking? How long am I going to do this, and this? I always say, depends. It depends.
hmm
It depends. And then we start the conversation to understand people's lives and see, look, if you do this, and this, you might get somewhere. I don't know in how long, but I'm here to help.
Great, nice man. All right, my last question for this game is following Thiago Messiah on Instagram. Is that a BS or success?
Man, shit. I don't want to sound. Look, again. I told you. Uh, I've been changing a little bit my approach on Instagram right now
hmm
because I love testing things. You know, on social media with students and in life, I love testing things.
Yeah.
Now I'm on a vibe where I'm testing other content, especially because Instagram algorithm is all over the place and it's not delivering anything
hmm
unless you pay for things.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I've been doing some things more like a shorter content, more personal to me, where I'm gonna just share me speaking in English a little bit and videos where I'm gonna instigate students to study every day. This is what you're gonna get. Until last month, I was posting every day about like explaining things, like giving some explanations. I was posting some funny things as well. I was using my wife here because she's a singer. I was using her with bringing some songs. I would bring her singing wrong lyrics, and I would just react to
hmm
that. And I was doing that. I kind of stopped. I had enough.
hmm
Because I was doing that for so long, and that's it. Well, if you follow me right now, you're gonna get just me straight up. like very simple and just instigations. Do this, do that, and that's it. I don't want to beg for attention anymore, man. I'm
Hmm.
done. Um, so for some, it's gonna be BS. For some, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be success. So if you really follow me just for follow, it's fucking BS. If
Okay.
you follow me to see what's up with me, it's gonna be
I
success.
can tell it's success, man. I've been following you like just recently. You're putting great content out there, so just keep doing what you're doing. And as you said, right? Like it's okay to switch things, like change approaches. I've been doing this so many times, like even with this podcast. So when I just started, like you briefly talk about your podcast, when I started this podcast, I would do a quick intro in English, and the rest of the podcast will be in Portuguese, entire in Portuguese. Now I'm doing this like 100% in English because I believe in one idea and I'm trying to stick with it. But I don't know about
Amazing.
tomorrow. Tomorrow I can start a podcast in Spanish. We never know, right?
That's
So
amazing.
it's all good as long as you're being honest and
Yeah.
like
Yeah, true to yourself, right?
yeah, you know,
I
like
have
you.
I don't know if you are into music, and my whole life it's been like based on music.
Mhm.
Uh, one of the first reason why I started learning English is because of music. I was a kid, right? Uh, I have tattooed on my arm. It's a chorus of a song that says, "We have the right to live in peace. You must fight for what you keep. If what you keep holds truth inside, stand up, defend, or lay down and die."
That's
Uh,
good.
this is yeah, man. It gives me the chills every time I remember the song. This is from a song called "Freedom Fighters" by the band POD. They are
POT.
from they're
All
from San
right.
Diego, California, and it's my
Good.
favorite band of all times. And they always bring like some rock, but with amazing lyrics. They never bullshit with lyrics. They always tell the truth straight up, and that's it. This is what I believe. And I have started so many things. I have given up on so many things as well, but always the things that I believe. And I'm not ashamed of taking some steps back and start over. And this is what I'm all about: just doing things that I enjoy and I believe that's going to bring a good message to people. So
Yeah.
just keep doing that. And if man, count on me. I'm here. I can use my social media for whatever you need. I'm here. Let's do that. And man, you got a great heart. I just the first time I'm like talking to you properly. I don't know if you believe in God.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing, and just just keep up with the good work, man. With the good heart. This is the most
Thank
important thing.
Thank you, both. Those were kind words. Thank you very much. It's same
I mean
here,
it.
you know.
I mean
I
it.
mean, like it's been not a long time that we connected, but from this conversation, I'm pretty sure, as I said, we're gonna collaborate a lot,
I'm here.
and let's bring some good content to the people out there. All right,
Yeah.
getting back to English, so you were a very experienced teacher, so you talked a little bit about your journey as a student and also as a teacher. But what are the best tips that you can think of, like for the people who are listening here? And we know that a lot of people struggle, right, with English. I've been there. You probably have been
Definitely.
there also. But what are the things that we can share with the audience, like some tips and tricks that they can use just to improve their English and to stay motivated? So, what are the things as a teacher you can share with the audience?
I always like to say that it's two things that you can think about when you're going to choose topics to learn words from. So I think it's really important to find like a topic that you're into, that you love, anything that you love, but also be open to learn from the things that it's not like that you're not involved. I was talking to a student today and he worked with mining, right? And
Hmm.
then I was telling him to listen to some audios. I sent him some things so he could learn words about like hairdressing, like you know uh, personal things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to have these two approaches: things that you like and things that you don't like, things that you agree, things that you don't agree, so you can get vocabularies. And of course, there are ways and steps and drills to work and to acquire those languages, those
Mm-hmm.
vocabularies. So find things that you like and that you kind of, not that you don't like, but that you kind of don't know, so you can open and broaden your horizons on
Mm-hmm.
that, right? And I think the most important tip that I tell my students is that, man, 10 fucking minutes, 20 minutes every day, study, get some information, get some English done. It's either, of course, the teacher will say what you have to do, but like, man, read something, listen to something, right? I use my own experience, and of course, you've had the same experience as me, which is listening to podcasts, listening, right? Listening is prime, it's prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
spend like 20 minutes doing things that your teacher tell you to do, right? But some active listening, active reading, right? So many things, right? So many
Yeah,
things that we can
but
do.
those are great tips. Great tips. Yes. So, as I said, right, every opportunity you have to exposure yourself to the language, they're always beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Of course, like when you talk about corrective, if I'm wrong, but when you talk about active listening or active reading, is you're actually paying attention to that. You can do some sort of activity, right, while you're doing
Mhm.
that, right?
Mhm.
But is that right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For practice, like for listening practice, like if you're gonna get a song or if you're gonna get like a short text,
Mm-hmm.
short audio or a video TED talk. Anyway, there are a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
Get some strategy. There is a step by step that I came up with, that I say, look, get these steps and use on this video. You're gonna learn a lot of vocabularies. You're gonna sharpen up your listening,
Mm-hmm.
and there are other things that I ask them to do, which is like making questions. Anyway, there are a lot of things,
Okay.
but yeah, follow some steps, because as we have so many things and so many approaches, me as the teacher, I say, look, follow these steps. Let's
Mm-hmm.
try this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just focus on this. Like 20 minutes per day. Just do that, and then let's see your development. Record yourself
Mm-hmm.
speaking. Let's do something. Yeah?
Yeah, those are great things. And are you accepting students currently? Do you
I have one one
okay.
one spot.
Okay,
Yes.
because I'm just saying because this is sounds like such a great uh, technique and approach. So if you guys are looking for a teacher, reach out to Thiago Messiah on Instagram and like
Yeah,
maybe
reach
you
out
can.
to you too, man.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, you might get the last spot, guys. Go for it, and you can learn the.
No, but
You can.
listen, what I do, I have like this. I have my classes are 50-minute class.
Okay.
It's individual. So I
Okay.
have this, and I offer consultancy as well, because
Nice.
I have some other students that we don't have like 1 hour per week, 2 hours per week. I have some students that I work only consultancy. So we
Okay.
go on. I get to know my students, and then every 2 days I send stuff like, do that, and then they
Hmm.
come to me on WhatsApp, and then I send more. So I have my consultants, and that's, it's open, right?
Okay. It's
I
more
can,
like a plan, and you are working closely with them, like providing feedback,
yeah,
guidance,
but
and
through
everything.
WhatsApp, yes.
Good. Nice.
Like maybe once or twice a week, maybe twice a month, I go like video call with them, but I'm basically speaking with them on WhatsApp like every day.
That's great. That's a great approach.
Hard
All right,
work,
guys.
man, but it's a
Nice.
way to make more money
Yeah.
and get more students.
Yeah, sure. We gotta be creative
Yeah,
as teachers, right? Good.
yeah,
All right.
man. I have a 10-year-old daughter. You know,
Yeah.
gotta survive.
Yeah, I have two kids. I don't know if I
Oh,
mentioned that, but I got two kids. I have a boy, he's 7, George, and I have Eloisa, who is just turning 10. No, wait, 10? 10. Yeah,
My
10. She's
God, man, how
turning
old are
10.
you?
I'm 34, man. I'm old. I'm old.
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought you were younger.
Yeah, I know everybody
You look
thinks that.
younger.
Yeah, man, it's a nightmare here. Every time you mentioned like you had a bar. So every time I go to the grocery shop or the liquor store, they
Yeah.
ask for my ID, man. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, can
Look
you
at my
see?
beard.
Can you see the child right beside me?"
That's
So
your brother.
yeah,
Oh my God.
it's embarrassing sometimes, but anyways, it is what it is, right?
Nice, man.
All right,
Nice.
so man, it's been a great conversation. I
That's
think like
amazing.
it's been so fun to have you here
Yeah, it
and
is.
learning more about your story. But I would like to know like if you have any final messages to the audience, like something that is really in your heart and you want to share with them. So feel free now; it's your time. So go for it.
Beautiful. Man, I think I'm on a mission here, and I think most of the teachers should be and should feel that they're on a mission. I feel that I'm here, of course, to not only teach English, but also bring something good to someone, like bring some good message and good vibe, bring some kind of love to that person and connect not only with English, but through English and try to connect with each one of them and, bring something good to the person. And I always hope that the students will always look forward to that time to connect with me, have the class with me. And I think all the private teachers should do that. Not only private, let's say like all the teachers should do that. Because if you're teaching individually or in a group, I think it's hard to connect when you're in a group, right? I've had experience with teaching teenagers, like 30 teenagers. It's a nightmare. I don't know if you've done that, but it's a
Yeah, yeah,
fucking nightmare. But
yeah.
man, I think us as teachers, I think we should always connect and be human, right? I know there's a lot of tools, AI all around, but like if you're teaching, be human, just connect with them, be kind, right? Be kind and bring some love. And you as a student should find someone like that and man, study every single day. And I promise, if you study every single day, you'll be fluent
Yeah,
sometime. I don't know for how long. It
yeah.
depends on you. Just do that. Yeah,
One
do
day,
that.
one day, one day for
Yeah,
sure.
one day, man. One day. One
Good.
day.
All right, man. So, as I said, guys, so go check the description of this episode. You're gonna find all the links to find Thiago on social media, also his podcasts, and we're done here. But that was great. The
It's
conversation
amazing.
was awesome. I hope you
Yeah.
guys also enjoyed, and I see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.